What was 2005 like? This didn't exist. No iPhones. I think I actually had a Motorola flip phone still. Hey, I'm Chris Marshall, and I'm the production supervisor at Inertia Films. So one of the amazing things that I was able to do here at Inertia Films recently was take one of my old films, which actually has a retro content to it, PEZheads the movie, which is all about Pez collectors and the Pez collecting community. I was a graduate student at the Savannah College of Art and Design, along with Chris Skeen and Kendra Skeen in 2005. The three of us made this film together. I had a DVX 100A, which was a standard definition mini DV tape camera, but it could shoot 24p. That was a big revolution. It was an amazing day. So we traveled the country looking for Pez collectors, big and small. We went to conventions, we interviewed big-time collectors and dealers. It was a lot of fun.
This is the place I sit at when I outbid you on everything, and that's the reason why you hate me.
So, fast forward to 2023, and I said, why don't I see if I can get this film out for distribution again? But if I'm gonna do that, maybe I can do a remaster. I didn't really want to change one frame of the film from its original form. I wanted to keep the film the way it was. I just wanted to elevate what was there. I think it's always sort of the dream of directors to go back to films. I don't want to say I George Lucased it, but basically it was great to sort of revisit this project and clean it up and present it in the best possible light that it could for some new audiences. I got them all at home, mint on card. One of the interesting things that we found was Topaz AI, where you can actually up-res standard definition footage, and it does a really good job of denoising and using AI to up-res your footage in a much better way a lot of times than just simply scaling it up in Premiere. And back in the day, I didn't even have a way to see a 16:9 image on my 4:3 monitor on the DVX 100A. So I just put gaff tape on the top and the bottom of the 4:3 LCD screen and just framed it for a 16:9 frame. Well, what that meant was I was actually using less resolution than standard definition. And so to up-res that 16:9 was an even greater ask. I was actually very happy though with the results from Topaz AI. Then it became a matter of what can I do with the audio? And back in 2005, I was just a graduate student and we had some audio that frankly wasn't as good. We had lavalier mics that died on us during interviews. At one point, Chris was doing man on the street interviews and actually holding his lav mic out to interview people like it was a stick mic.
Head dispensers, rock.
So we took a lot of this audio in and we used Adobe Podcast, which is a new platform that Adobe has, to take the audio and sort of clean it up with AI. That I was actually amazed with.
One of the problems you run into with collectibles is that if people don't know they're worth money, one of the problems you run into with collectibles is that if people don't know they're worth money.
It was able to really help some of the audio that didn't sound as good and boost it up, denoise it, clean it up, give it some more bass. Actually, after I did a couple scenes, I ended up running the entire film through Adobe Podcast.
I gotta try some of this stuff.
So not only did we remaster PEZheads the movie, but also an old Inertia Films TV series called Testimony, Profiles, and Faith. So we used some of the new tools that we learned about and techniques to then take that old standard definition TV series and bring it into the modern age for digital release. So it's been really fun to kind of go down memory lane with some of these projects and make them feel new again. All right, cut.